Hey lovely people out there, how are you all doing? This is your Staggered Nikita and welcome back to Nikki's Staggered YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to discuss the effects of the placement of planet Mercury through 12 zodiac signs and how it impacts and shapes our personality, life path as well as our karma. So as we all know that Mercury's signification is highly crucial in today's day and age, in today's Kaliyuga, as Mercury represents our intellect, the way we comprehend our thoughts, the way we perceive the world. So along with the placement of moon, Mercury plays an important role in defining how one person will communicate or express himself or herself. It also being the natural third and sixth house ruler of the Kalpurus Kundali, it defines what kind of surrounding we would grow in, what kind of neighborhood we would be having, how will be our relationship with our siblings, with our neighbors, with our friends. It's being the sixth house ruler of Kalpurus Kundali, it also has got say in defining what kind of conflicts or conflicting situations or health ailments one might undergo in this lifetime, and if at all one has got enough of gut and willpower to overcome the obstacles that are being undergone in this lifetime. Third house being the house of courage, it also defines how much courageous one will be, what kind of skill sets one would be having, and that is why Mercury's placement in horoscope is so crucial in understanding all these aspects of our life. So stay tuned till the end, and if you want to take a professional consultation from me regarding your horoscope, then you can send an email to nikkistarguide@gmail.com, and all the details are given in the description section. So without any further ado, let's get started with our today's interesting topic. When Mercury is placed in the sign of Aries, ruled by Commander Mars, this is an inimical sign placement for planet Mercury. As we all know that Aries is all about getting things done quickly. It's about do it rather than thinking about it. So Mercury represents our intellect, our calculation, our skill sets, the way we analyze and scrutinize things, our ability to make decisions after putting in thorough thought. So here, Mercury in Aries natives makes a person have a straightforward speech and approach in their behavior. They would always prefer to say it out loud than keeping it inward. Mercury being the natural third and sixth house ruler of the Kalpurus Kundali, here in the sign of Aries, it indicates that the native is prone to get in trouble or conflict if one cannot take charge of their communication skills. One is prone to nervous system imbalance as well, as Mars is the ruler of the sign of Aries, and Mercury, when mingles with the energies of Mars, it activates certain nervous system imbalances. Here, a native must take care of not being too harsh, rash, or bold in their speech, and should not be in haste in making decisions, as the speech is becoming too fiery and impulsive. Impulsive is the correct term here, which can make them adamant or strict regarding what they follow is only right. So try to bring a positive side of this placement into your personality by always putting in the effort to cultivate the habit of thinking before talking or thinking before committing. By doing this, you will be able to harmonize and stabilize this placement of Mercury and your speech as well. And you will eventually be known as a fierce and motivated speaker. This placement of Mercury also indicates that a native share a very spontaneous relationship with the sibling. Siblings might be interested in the fields of aerodynamics, machinery, technical subjects, or marketing as well. Mercury is quite comfortable by being placed in the sign of Taurus, which is its best friend Venus's sign. In the sign of Taurus, Mercury finds its earthiness, alright, because Taurus is the earth sign. Here, Mercury's intellect and analytical yet creative nature finds a perfect blend and balance of practicality, steadiness, and a touch of creativity as well. Generally, Mercury does really well when placed in an earth sign. It finds a strong, solid foundation to stand on, and Taurus is all about being futuristic and generating the best possible wealth assets and building security for the present as well as for the future. So here, Mercury in Taurus native is always thinking about their present and how to make their future better. Major emphasis is on enjoyment as well. Here, the person loves to be gentle yet strong in communication. They are steady, they are balanced, and at the same time firm and pleasant in a way they communicate and deal with others. There may not be much of a problem with displacement, but a person should make sure not to go to an extreme level of being too much focused or emphasized on only wealth related matters or enjoyment related factors in life. They should equally focus on making the best of their creative skill sets rather than being totally focused on and getting carried away by one aspect that is represented by the sign of Taurus. This would be helpful in elevating the placement of Mercury here. Use and utilize your strength of analytical skills, financial matters, or financial management to strengthen your strengths. Mercury, being the natural third and sixth house ruler of Kalpurush Kundali, when placed in the sign of Taurus, makes the native look younger than his age. He has to be a spokesperson to the family, and being mindful of the diet is also necessary with this placement. Mercury in second house or Taurus indicates that the sibling might get relocated for the purpose of education. Here it gives rise to excellent communication skills, and Mercury in Taurus can also make you fond of food, various food items or different cuisines as well. Now, this is a happy place for planet Mercury as it's placed in its own sign. And whenever a planet is placed in its own sign, it is the most strong and comfortable over there. The fast moving planet, the ruler of the sign of Gemini, which represents communication, skills with hands, writing, media, is now getting enhanced and boosted and empowered over here. This is one of the strong indicators of someone who is working in the field of PR or journalism, media, public sector related work, politics, or someone who is a teacher, advisor, counselor, or an marketing agent in some large organization. Someone who is extremely talented and gifted with many art forms, hobbies, and overall an enthusiastic and jovial personality, a learner's attitude can be observed over here. So here, even if everything seems to be easy breezy and in control, we must remember that Mercury is childlike, whose energy can be fluctuating, and Gemini being a dual sign, here a person can face some real trouble in sticking to one hobby, one business, one job, or one project at some point in their life. A person must develop patience, persistence, and should not be hasty while making any important decisions in life, as Mercury represents our intellect and how we find a solution or kind of a thought process that we carry. So use your smartness and calm, charm, attitude, and your knowledge in an appropriate manner so that you will be able to make the most of this entrepreneurial, enthusiastic, and inquisitive energy offered by this placement. Mercury in Gemini grants success in academics. You love to learn, read, gather information, share the information that you have learned, share the knowledge that you have with others. A lifelong learner, quick and witty person with a tech-savvy attitude and inclination. The only downside of this placement is that the native can talk too much or go to extreme lengths of learning, or there can be possible mood swings at times which deviate you from your goals, from staying focused at one task. So do not forget to pay attention to other aspects of life. Do not get overly indulged in only one aspect of life. Relationship with siblings is also crucial. One always tries to find quick and effective solutions to the existing problems with this placement. Now, planet Mercury, the Prince Charming, has entered the domain of the sensitive watery planet Moon's domain. In the sign of Cancer, where everything is about finding and building strength in your own emotional abilities, capabilities, and nurturing those emotions and finding strength through the same, caring for others, and taking care of your family as well. Mercury and Moon do not share a comfortable bond, hence, one must remember that the task could be a bit tough here. Mercury may find it hard to process through the watery nature of Cancer, where excessive emotions are at stake. Mercury is all about logic and intellect. So, the planet that signifies dealing with others in a professional, diplomatic, and rational manner, where now it's placed in the watery emotional domain of Cancer. It indicates that the native will slowly and steadily build emotional strength over the years and will find resilience in their emotions. As Mercury is curious child, and if this placement isn't receiving or getting impacted by strong malefics, then this can indicate that the native is very creative, highly empathetic, and in tune with their emotions. They can explain how they feel and they can be expressive about, and they can help others in recognizing their emotions as well. So here, to elevate this placement and to make the most of this, one must understand and accept and not refuse the fact that we must process and accept our emotions in an appropriate manner rather than running away from them. Only then they will stop haunting you. Write down your emotions, use your Mercurian energy to explore the depths of human mind. And slowly you will be able to rewire and build a strong control over your own intellect. This also means that the native has got many siblings or an extended family and a prominent karma related to them as well. Mercury in Cancer also indicates that the mother of the native is also very communicative, and the family well-being is also dependent on how well the family members communicate with each other. Mercury in Leo is at its best friend Sun's house. So the royal and regal sign of Leo, where the Prince Mercury surely feels confident, fully aggravated, and powerful. Leo is all about leading others, being the best possible version of yourself, being creative, extravagant, and bold in approach. That's how the native would be with this placement. So here Mercury makes a person feel driven to set new goals and gives a strong will and straightforward attitude to the person. Such a native loves to get involved in making creative products or artifacts, or they will be involved in some kind of creative hobby which involves the use of hands and their creative intelligence. Playing with colors and everything attractive catches their eyes, and they are fierce in nature and so in their speech pattern as well. To elevate this royal placement of Mercury, one must be willing to invest time in producing creative projects. All right, so one should use their intelligence and creativity to give birth to creative projects, something that will help humanity, something that will bring them recognition as well for helping the humanity. Rather than wasting time on anger issues or ego clashes, which is very much possible with this placement, instead of getting offended on small things, you must channel your creativity for a higher cause. One must learn to talk less when angry, or especially when you are opposed. Somebody opposing you might cause havoc in your head. These small things will lead to make the best of this placement. And these natives could also be literally a spokesperson to the government, or they might stand up for a particular cause, and they might be working at a leadership position at the place of work. Stage appearances or recognition for their creativity can be expected with this placement. The only issue to deal with here is to look after the anger burst outs. Having Mercury placed in the sign of Virgo, which is its Mool Trikona sign, this is the place where Mercury is truly happy, content, and strong, confident about what he wants us to do. All right, so as we all know that Virgo is all about healing, solving disputes, being practical and analytical. Here, the person is good at handling all types of day-to-day tasks, or they are good at mathematics, calculations, financial advising, analytical skills, and analysis as well. These people make trustworthy co-workers in all types of work setups, and they know how to handle a conflicting situation at the professional front mainly. So such people prove to be an efficient problem solver as well. Now, even if Mercury is exalted over here, there can be certain aspects where a person can make some amendments to improve this placement or to keep it intact. So a person must practice looking at things in a broader perspective rather than just seeing it in terms of small details. Of course, for you people, perfection is a lot more important in any task that they perform, that you undertake, but being overly analytical or overly perfection oriented also can cause stress and hamper the peace of your mind. So one must learn to rest a bit and break things and big tasks into small parts and utilize this exalted placement of Mercury for the greater good. Mercury in Virgo also can indicates that the native might have to go through some fluctuations in terms of their health, vitality, and one must lead an efficient routine life. Mercury in Virgo is also a placement where the sibling will also have a strong bond with the native, and both the sibling and native might undergo certain similar patterns in terms of their health or their life path as well. When Mercury is placed in the sign of Libra, this is a favorable and friendly placement for planet Mercury. Is the moon trikona sign of Venus, where Mercury gets a strong ability to sharpen its intellect, intelligence, and business skills as well. Libra is all about dealing with other people, being out there, cracking the deals, being diplomatic and harmonious in communication and public dealing. So, a person with this placement has a very pleasant and diplomatic way of talking and dealing with other people. They can make great businessmen, entrepreneurs, and advisors or counselors as well. They love to deal with relationships and people of the opposite sex or business partners. They are creative and can have multiple hobbies, interests, and multiple sources of income as well. Or they might be involved in multiple tasks or multiple works as well. Here, a person must be aware of not being too diplomatic where they cannot stick to one side. They must strike a fine balance between these two extremities, as being too helpful will cost them their peace of mind and the ability to rest, breathe, and do nothing at times. Whereas being too much diplomatic may make them appear to be shallow to other people, or that might invoke the feeling of lack of trust in others, because such people are prone to following all the etiquettes, all the mannerisms, and they might make it look like a walk in the park. So they can be too much of materialistic or chasing after their desires, running after their desires, and may make them realize later that maybe I should have done this instead of that. So don't be involved too much in just one thing. Spread your wings wide and stay focused on various things at once. To utilize this Mercury in Libra placements, you have to put equal amount of interest in artistic pursuits, business deals, dealing with other people, and relationships as well. With this placement, it can bring multiplicity in relations, especially if this Mercury is weakly placed, afflicted, or even Venus and Moon is weak in the chart. So, siblings play a crucial role in your marriage or the way you interact with others, the way you pursue others. And that's how Mercury in Libra could bring out the best in you. Mercury in its inimical planet Mars' sign of Scorpio is a neutral or inimical sign placement for planet Mercury. Scorpio is the sign where everything seems to be a secret unless and until one decides and gathers courage to go deep into the water of Scorpio and bring out the hidden potential or discovers the hidden meaning and truth behind this placement. So Scorpio is all about research, secrets, occult knowledge, transformations. And the gentle, fun-loving, curious, and rational energy of Mercury feels very much stressed and lost in the depth of Scorpio, which rules the original 8th house of the Kalpurush Kundalini. It is a fluctuating energy. So here we can experience, or the person can experience, very intense and impactful strong-willed speech pattern, but this takes place slowly after going through a lot of turbulences and transformations in the way they react to situations, in the way they communicate with others, in the way they deal with other people or with their siblings as well. Here, it can make a person extremely passionate and deeply involved in pursuing their hobbies and interests that they have. Such people can also be very choosy with their friends. They can be suspicious of their friends, and it might take a long time for them to trust others. Now here, to elevate and improve this placement, a person must work on not being too much fixated and intense about the way they approach things or the way they find a solution. Try not to put too much pressure on your thought process and nervous system for reaching the desired destination in your way. Drop down the my way or the highway attitude and learn to trust others. All right. Ready to experiment with the way you execute your ideas and thoughts. This can save you from being deeply upset and hurt if some plan or things does not turn out to be the way you expected it to be. Cherish and nurture your ability to convey the message with a strong voice, but always make sure that it is backed up with a strong logic, rational thought as well. Mercury here can give some turbulence, transformation in speech pattern, relationship with siblings initially. One might change the school or live in different localities and neighborhood during initial years of life. This is a good placement for research, and such people are fond of occult knowledge. Mercury is placed in the divine, philosophical, and determined sign of Sagittarius, comes under the Jupiter's domain. In the sign of Sagittarius, it is all about sharing knowledge, learning new things, acquiring higher wisdom, realizing your mission, your lessons, meeting gurus, teachers, or one might even become a guru or teacher himself. No doubt, this instills qualities of a good teacher, a counselor, or a guide who is enthusiastic and inquisitive about understanding different cultural backgrounds. One must be interested in preaching and teaching, as Mercury is the messenger and Sagittarius is all about higher knowledge and wisdom. So this placement makes great teachers, professors, tour guides, people working in the cultural department, history department, people working for the law, or people working as government's spokesperson as well. Here, the fiery nature of Sagittarius feeds the inquisitive side of Mercury, and one is always ready to guide other people, to share whatever they have learned with other people, to preach about what he or she believes in. So to elevate this placement, a person must understand and cultivate the habit of calming down the fire, agitation, and desire to be the best and to do everything on your own. You always want to be the first person to guide others, but sometimes not everybody is in the correct state of mind to receive your advice. As Sagittarius is a dual sign, the person must focus on not dwelling into multiple tasks at one time. They should aim to attain long-term goals in terms of research, finding traces of history events, or studying literature, or whatever field you may work in. Researching and acquiring higher knowledge in that field is a must to elevate this placement, as Sagittarius literally depicts goal-orientedness or being determined. Mercury in Sagittarius will bring many opportunities to travel to a faraway place, and one might get a job at a distant land. Father will prove to be a great teacher for the native with this placement. Mercury is now in the domain of its friend Saturn in the sign of Capricorn, but this is a neutral placement for Mercury. As we all know that with Saturn, nothing comes easily, And so, Prince Mercury is also now being forced to cultivate discipline, to be serious and attentive when it's placed in the sign of Capricorn. Such natives are extra cautious about their communication, what they say, how they say it, what they write, how they convey their feelings, or even while signing any contract or giving any sort of commitment. Such natives take longer amount of time to commit to anything, to say yes to things, or they can even be less likely to trust others easily. This makes a person very tactful in their behavior. They prefer to compartmentalize the data or information that they have learned, and they store it in their memory. And these people make great analysis. They are good at their work. They prove to be a good colleague. They prove to be a good co-worker, and they can be even a government servant as well with this placement. Field of the HR work or working in a large organization, working as a lawyer or a counselor can also be suitable for these people. They are firm in their speech and decision-making ability, and they can be very much interested in dealing with the government and higher authorities, and they know how to get their work done. So here, a person must practice to not come up as an overly strict disciplinarian or rule maker kind of a person. They must cultivate the habit of taking things and sarcasm a bit easily in a delightful manner, rather than seeing everything with a magnifying glass. So smile often, be cheerful, and avoid being too serious all the time. You make the decisions or you want to reach the destination, but don't forget to enjoy the journey. Here, a native might go through nervous system imbalances, or there might be certain things that hamper their speech, especially if Mercury is weak, afflicted, or combust. So with this placement, relationship with siblings develops slowly as they age, and one must carry a humble and service-oriented nature, especially in terms of their career, in order to attain success. In the Aries sign of Aquarius ruled by planet Saturn, Mercury feels comfortable to connect and form network with other people, as Aquarius is all about serving humanity, gathering for a cause, working for a higher purpose, inventing and investing in new ideas, resources, technologies for the betterment of the mankind. So here, the person with this placement is naturally a healer, an inventor, a humanitarian person who wants to help others, who acts as a mediator or a friend, philosopher or a guide or a scientist to others. Such natives are skilled in their speech as well as innovative, and at times this can give an eccentric speech pattern to such natives. They make great corporate officers, event organizers, and their rebellious nature and out of the box ideas make them stand out of the crowd. So now to elevate this placement and to make the most of this, here a person must look after what and how they are sharing their ideas and knowledge within their network circle. Are they efficiently using their skill sets at their best? Are they performing at their best? So when a person is very communicative and at the same time knowledgeable and inventive by nature, people surely look up to you as a source of inspiration or a helper. So you have got the responsibility to always cross-check what you know and believe in, because people are going to believe in you. So back it up with a strong scientific reasoning and research, and then may you cherish the authentic visionary and humanitarian side that lies within you. This can also indicate that the native or the sibling of the native is into the fields of software, law, technology, entrepreneurship, and if afflicted, then shows troubles in sustaining the wealth. Nervous system imbalance or troubles with colleagues can also be seen. Always try to be upfront and pay back the loans and debts on time to make the best of this placement. Now Mercury has reached the last zodiac sign of the zodiac circle, which is the sign of Pisces, where it gets debilitated. As we all know that Pisces is all about intuition, imagination, dreams, otherworldly things, where emotions flow just like the waves of the deep ocean. And so the logical nature of Mercury finds it hard to sustain its ability to be rational or practical and calculative. Hence, it gets debilitated here. But let's not be in a hurry to conclude things or judge or to label these placements as the critical one or not so favorable one. Because remember, Pisces is all about spirituality. It is about exploring the unknown realms of the psyche, and Mercury is intellect. Mercury is communication and creativity. So this placement produces some of the best creative artists out there, some of the best poets, creative writers, script writers, novel writers, and the hunger to explore spirituality and intuition is high here. Such natives devote themselves for a higher cause. Such natives devote themselves and their knowledge and understanding for doing something, for researching something, up to that extent where they can write a thorough research report, or such people can write a book on the same. Such people can be good painters, artists, and they can share their exceptional in-depth knowledge about the 12th house related matters through some kind of art form. So here a person must keep in mind that the planet which signifies our ability to make decisions, our intellect and communication, or dealings related to contracts and deals, and the hobbies and skill sets that we possess is in debilitated mode. So instead of getting frightened and feeling upset, just check how you handle these things and develop awareness through experiences. Pisces is a water sign. So as much as you read, write, and think, you sharpen your intellect, you hone into your Mercury in Pisces energies, you will be able to guide yourself through the life's turbulent times. So your Mercurian skills and rational skills of Mercury are now getting utilized for creative and artistic work. So with this placement, your imagination will run high, and your intellect, your thoughts, your skills, and you need to learn to go with the flow. Control issues are not going to be helpful here. Better to be surrendering in front of the divine, in front of the cause that you feel it is your duty to go after. You have to make sure to develop awareness, patience, and to handle any adverse situation in life would be easier. Try to avoid taking unnecessary advice from others, and try not getting a part of misunderstandings. Be careful while signing contracts, and your speech is pure and unadulterated like a child. Keep that innocence alive.